Serve. 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 Walk.
Hello, you're watching The Luna Show, and right now you're about to meet Shatera Revlon. We are now with Shatera Revlon, a legend here in the Baltimore area, but also you were deemed legend in New York City. Tell me a little bit about that.
2003.
Uh-huh.
2003.
You
Art Christian Bazaar.
Eric Christian Bazaar?
Yes, before he passed away, he gave me the legendary status.
So you started walking balls in the early 90s?
Yes.
And here in Baltimore?
Here in Baltimore.
And then you traveled?
I started DC, and then I went to New York City.
Mm-hmm. And so your first category was hair affair?
Yes.
So tell me about that. Like, do you miss that category? Because they don't have it that often in anywhere, really.
No.
Oh, you don't miss it?
No.
You don't miss, like, the big hair affair effects?
No.
So as you were done with the hair affair, what other categories have you conquered?
Runway.
So
Big
tell me
girls
about
runway.
that. Like, what was runway for you?
Everything.
And that was, like, in the 90s, right?
Kind of like the late 90s.
So runway, you know, you have to have like a certain type of walk, a certain signature. What was your influence for that walk that you had?
I say my effects. It was a lot. I say basically my effects, my thrive.
And so you were a part of the House of Elite St. Clair?
Yes, when I first into the ballroom scene, I joined the House Elite St. Clair at the time when it was combined.
And so St. Clair went separate and
Yes,
did
they
their
went
own
separate.
thing?
Yes.
And that was in DC, Philly, and Baltimore?
Baltimore, yes.
So were you ever like a parent of the house, or were you just a member?
Just a member.
And were you female figure runway, or were you femme queen runway?
I was big girls runway, femme queen runway.
Oh, okay. And so tell me about your transition. What will you tell a new girl that's transitioning, that wants to be a female figure? What will you say to them?
I would say make sure you go to the doctors first before you get hormones off the street.
And why is that? What's wrong with the hormones in the streets?
Well, sometimes people might say the wrong pills.
Also, they may give them like water pills, and they think they're taking
pills,
hormones.
Anything. It might even be an ecstasy pill.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but it happens. Like, you really have to do it right in the proper way, so you could get, you know, you could look like what you're supposed to look like.
Right.
So you ended up being in the House of Revlon. Like, what started that?
Well, like sometime in the early 2000s, I had my own house of the House of De La Renta here in Baltimore, and we had decided that we wanted to split up and go our separate ways. And I've always wanted to be a Revlon, so I went to a meeting and got voted in.
Is Tony one of your favorite people in the scene?
Most definitely.
Do you look up to Danielle Revlon?
I've always looked up to her.
Wasn't she gorgeous?
Gorgeous.
She was like one of the most beautiful girls I've ever met.
Yes.
So you became legendary in New York City,
Yes.
and you took a break. What was the break?
Well, right now I'm fighting kidney failure and I'm fighting diabetes and high blood pressure. Right now I have a blood clot on my heart right now. And I had to rest because I was doing too much. I've been in the hospital for like a month and I'm just recovering right now.
Is the kidney failure because of the hormones?
No,
Because I've heard that.
it came from diabetes.
Oh, okay. So how does one take care of that? Because I know in my show I talk a lot about HIV/AIDS and taking care of that. I've actually never had somebody say anything about diabetes. How does one take care of themselves for diabetes? Or with diabetes? Like, how?
Yeah, the one thing they tell you have to eat right. Eat right and take your medicine.
And
Exercise.
how do you prevent it anyway? Or is this something that's hereditary?
It's hereditary.
Okay.
It's hereditary.
So is there something that people could do so they don't get diabetes?
For one, no, not really. Because it's hereditary. Anybody can get it.
What's so special about the Baltimore ballroom scene?
We have different flavor.
And what's that flavor?
Our runway, our Vogue Femme, our Face Kids. We just have a different flavor. It's unique.
And so, you know, there's other major cities that have balls and stuff like that. What's one thing that stands out for Baltimore for you? You know, because there's balls in New York, Atlanta, Kentucky. So what's different and special about Baltimore balls?
I think Baltimore's a lot fair.
You said a lot fair?
A lot of fair.
Are you sure?
No, I'm just kidding. No. I mean, we do have different flavors here, but I mean, it's pretty much almost the same. Almost.
What's one message you would like to tell the young people? Because a lot of young people watch my show. What's one message you will tell them for their future, in or out of the scene?
Protect yourself. Anything that the doctor tell you that you have, follow it. Follow it.
And you have a gay son here. Come into the camera.
This is my gay son, Cartier.
Hi. So, as a mother, like, has she taught you things that you're gonna use in your life, in your future, and then you yourself are gonna take to your gay children in the future?
Of course.
And what are those messages?
Watch who you date and just pretty much be safe and hang around the right type of people and pretty much that in general.
Are you a
Keep
part?
a job.
Keep a job. That's very important. And school.
In school.
Are you a part of the Baltimore ballroom scene as well? Do you participate?
Not really.
And why is that?
Not yet. But,
Are you a future Revlon in the making?
Yes.
You know, I gotta go to the mother for that. So do you, in terms of like the direction of the Baltimore ball scene, where do you see it in the future? This question is for either one of you.
I see it getting bigger. A lot more bigger. A lot more bigger. See, we're trying to get the girls from New York, Texas, Atlanta to come here.
But we do. We do
not the
come.
ones
Not
that-
all the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't do every ball, but
Yeah.
I think the last time I was here was for the awards ball that they had in February, I think it was. Was that February?
it was February.
And it was here. But, all right. Any last messages you want to tell young people as a young person yourself?
listen to the older people. As hard as it seems, you have to listen
Older?
to them because
What are you trying to say?
Yeah.
mother. You have to listen to them because, you know, they've been through it and they already know. So it doesn't hurt to listen.
So you don't look at it as shade. You look at it as, oh, okay, let me listen to this person
Creative criticism is it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
You know, because young people these days don't want to hear anybody say anything.
That's true. That's right.
You know what I mean? You know, and so, you know, you've lived and you did what you had to do, and then they don't want to hear what you have to say.
Right.
So what would you say to those kids that don't want to listen to their parents?
Well, a lot of them don't want to listen to their parents, but life is the best experience. I say, get it together.
Okay.